Good morning, Peace and Friendship Arena. We will begin our program in 5 minutes. I repeat, good morning. We will begin our program in 5 minutes. I'll tell you, everybody, that opening ceremony was a spectacle to behold, and the journey that teams took to get there was, frankly, only made possible by our many sponsors and supporters, including our title sponsor, Lamb Research. Thank you to Lamb for making this very event possible.
Over the course of the next 3 days, these youth from all over the globe are not only showcasing their robot skills on the competition floor, but they serve as representatives of their nations, showcasing the skills that they've built and celebrating the spirit of the first global sports camaraderie that brings us all together year after year. To get a better understanding of the robotics challenge that our teams will be participating in, let's watch the 2024 game animation video.
Introducing the official game of the 2024 First Global Challenge, Feeding the Future. During the 2-minute and 30-second match, 2 3-team regional alliances work independently to conserve water and energy and produce food. All 6 teams then work together as a global alliance to secure food and balance global resources to create a sustainable food system and provide the world with equitable, safe, nutritious, and environmentally responsible food. 12 blue water and 12 green energy are pre-arranged on racks in each aligned station. 1 food is positioned at the bottom of each of the 24 Nexus goals on the playing field. Robots start the match lined up against the guardrail next to their corresponding alliance station. Teams may preload 1 water or 1 energy into the robot prior to the start of the match. The match begins when the announcer says, "Go!" Each regional alliance transfers water and energy from the alliance station to the robots via the human players. Robots then conserve water and energy by placing 1 of each type into each of the Nexus goals, designated with their regional alliance color. Robots can also conserve water and energy in the reservoir. A regional alliance earns points for each water and energy conserved. Once a Nexus goal has been successfully loaded with 1 water and 1 energy, a food is produced and released into play, which earns the regional alliance additional points. The Water Energy Food Nexus illustrates that only by conserving water and energy can we sustainably produce enough food for a growing global population. All teams work together as a global alliance to collect the produced food and secure it in the food warehouse. Food can be secured by robots or by human players. All 6 teams on the Global Alliance earn points for food secured in the food warehouse. Food security exists when safe and nutritious food is always accessible in sufficient amounts to all people. Towards the end of the match, the Global Alliance by positioning the robots on the ramp and the platform. This represents nations to actively balance resources in order to support a sustainable global food system. The total sum of balanced robots equals a balance multiplier that is applied to each water plus energy plus food produced points earned. The Global Alliance earns a cooperation bonus if 5 robots are balanced at the end of the match, rewarding the effort of the majority of nations build a resilient and equitable food system. A regional alliance's match score is the sum of points earned for each water and energy conserved and each food produced, multiplied by the food secure points plus cooperation bonus points. Let's start feeding the future together.
Now, sustainable food production is one of the challenges of the 21st century. And this year's Feeding the Future theme challenges first global teams to address the obstacles and opportunities, providing the global population with equitable, safe, nutritious, and environmentally responsible food. Let's learn some more.
Every day, each of us is faced with the same question: what am I going to eat? Food is our fuel, our culture, and our comfort. Yet in a world of abundance, more than 700 million people are going hungry. Our global food system, which encompasses producing, processing, distributing, and consuming food, is a complex and interconnected web that is sensitive to many factors. It is under the effects of inefficiencies, changing consumption patterns, conflicts, economic shocks, urbanization, and environmental degradation. And the rising cost and scarcity of food is impacting everyone. In many ways, our world produces enough food, but inefficient production and consumption causes 30% of all food to be wasted. Resource-intensive meat demand is skyrocketing, and conflicts are blocking food from millions. Is the largest consumer of fresh water, while food production and delivery consume approximately 30% of the world's energy. So as our global population continues to increase, so will the demand for food, water, and energy. To develop a more sustainable food system, we must achieve economic sustainability by establishing a fair and profitable system from farmer to consumer. Sustainability by securing the well-being of all societies and their equitable access to nutritious food. And environmental sustainability by balancing between food, nature, and climate. To neutralize our ecological footprint on the planet, minimize wastage, and advance methods that are less water and energy dependent. From regenerative farming and landless agriculture to small-scale automation and optimizing plant-based options are continuing to emerge. Together, we can nurture a more resilient and equitable food system needs of the present and generations to come. Join us for the 2024 First Global Challenge. Feeding the Future.
With an issue like global hunger and maintaining our food sources around the world, it's a team effort. And I think the best way to talk about the team effort that goes into making an event like this possible is to recognize the support from our communities, our families, and our countries around the world. Let's take a look.
Ustedes son el futuro de este país.
Team Jamaica!
Go Team Bangladesh!
Good luck, Team Ukraine. Journey to the first global challenge in Athens.
Team Togo, good luck!
Go Team Georgia!
We support! Team Trinidad!
Team DRC. Vale, Ico.
¡Pico! Nosotras somos Team México, vamos equipo.
Our teams are eager to get things kicked off here. We're eager too. They've been prepping for weeks, months, coming from all ends of the world to arrive here in Athens. We're gonna converge on field 3 now for match number 3. The ranking matches will start in 3, 2, 1, go!
On the red alliance, we have the nations of Belize, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. On the blue regional alliance, we have Eswatini, Jamaica, Panama. Again, every single match will have a different compilation and combination, and their matchups will be different and unique every single time they square up today as well.
Speaking of scoring, we're looking at 2 robots depositing water and energy. Taking a look at our game pieces, we've got several on the field. Blue means water, green means energy, and you need one of each in order to produce food, designated by the orange game pieces on the field there. Our teams are going to be working together across the field, produce as much food as possible in the next 1 minute and 47 seconds and counting down.
Now, it's pretty incredible to think about all of the matches that we're going to bring you over the next 3 days. This is the first televised match, and frankly, we said yesterday in the opening ceremony that there are about 2 countries that have now denoted robotics officially as a sport. The first country to do so, it qualifies in this first match. It is the nation of Belize, again on that red regional alliance. So kudos to them.
1 minute and 20 seconds left. You can see our drive teams are working together with their robots, not just the robots on the field. You'll notice that our drive teams will have a yellow band on their arm. That is the human player. They're the star of the show, in my opinion, because they need to not only load their water and energy, they need to then collect the food that our robots produce and deliver it to That's that rail system that you see above the field. Points per food produced. So orange game pieces released onto the field. And another 2 when you secure that for your global population in that warehouse.
Now, what we'll start to see over time, because teams got their practices earlier on today, as they also arrived a few days ago, hopefully to convene about their strategies here. You'll start to see towards the end of the match, teams start making their way towards the platform as that whistle sounds. That's indicative of what is called the end game. We'll get to that later on, but it's just one of various ways that we've already alluded to in which you can score in this game.
Our teams are going to be looking together to work as a global alliance here. So now, while our blue and red regional alliance goals that they need to achieve in every match, at the end of the game, it's all about all of us coming together to secure food for our global population here. So with the last 5 seconds, we're looking at a balanced platform indicated by that purple light. Time expires. Great job in that first match to our teams on the field here. We're excited to see how things continue to ramp up. Pun intended.
Oh, I
as
like
we
that.
Keep going.
I like that. I was going to say, I'm going to be full of dad jokes over the next 3 days, so I preemptively apologize, Manisha. I'm so glad that you can go back and forth with me on that and give me a run for my money.
Always.
In the meantime, these two regional alliances gave one another a run for their money as we show you some instant replays right now.
Water being delivered here at lower goal. Our robots are going to need to try and ascend different heights, up and over. All of our goals on the field are at different height levels. So teams will need to work together to see who can achieve which height.
And the field spaces themselves are quite tight, so there are going to be some collisions between these robots. But again, the scores will be showing up for you for both of these alliances on that left side of the screen. So different categories where these points can be achieved. In these ranking matches, it's cumulative towards every single sequential match that they're going to play. So even though this is the first one that they've been in and all their chips in and what's at right now, there's plenty to live for as well as evolve towards as it continues for them.
We're going to come back to the scores for our next match, but now we're going to take a look at one of our team's stories. Team Estonia comes from a country known for its digital prowess and forward-thinking approach to technology. With a love for robotics, and they are excited to showcase their talents at the first Global Challenge. Let's take a look.
Oh, hei, meie oleme FGC Team Estonia ja esindame Eestit see aasta FGC-l Kreekas.
Mina olen Lennart, ma olen robootikaga tegelenud juba esimesest klassist saati.
Tere, mina olen Robin.
Minu nimi on Jasper.
Mina olen Pärtel.
Olen Gregor.
Mina olen Ralf.
Ma olen Roland, ma tulen Põhja-Eestist.
Mina olen Eiki.
Minu FGC meeskond on parim FGC meeskond, mis üldse on.
Meie meeskond suudab väga hästi kommunikeerida ülesandeid, mistõttu meie töö tegemise kiirus on väga suur.
STEM on minu jaoks oluline, sellepärast et mulle meeldib asju luua, ehitada.
STEM rahuldab seda uudishimu, mis mul on maailma vastu, igasuguste vastu.
See aasta esimest korda ehk Elevil osalema ja uusi teadmisi saama.
Me oleme see aasta väga palju juba enne hoogu, et meie robot tuleks parem kui eelmine aasta ja aasta enne seda.
Toiduturvalisus on minu jaoks väga oluline teema ning Eesti jaoks eriti, kuna me oleme riik, mis impordib väga suurt hulka oma toidust.
Osalemine First Global Challenge'il arendab mind igast küljest.
Ma kasutan FGC kogemust tulevikus, kus on väga vaja meeskonnatööd, mida ma ju FGC-lt nagu väga selgelt saan ja arendan.
FGC-l saadud teadmisi oma kogukonnaga ning läbi selle ma arendan maailma ning ka enda kogukonda.
Improve definitely is the name of the game, and every single one of these teams has improved in their understanding of science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I certainly suspect also one another as they've all gelled as teams from different disciplines in order to get here.
I think we're going to take a look at our team that we just watched, Team Estonia, on this center field now. Match number 6, queued up in 3, 2, 1, go! Robots jumping into action. We see some energy on the field already. That's indicated by those green game pieces there.
Teams have had different synergies and relationships over the years. Some of them time in this experience who we just featured in that video, is not one of them. It's a foreign concept because they've actually experienced working and collaborating with one another in what's referred to as First Lego League, or FLL. So before joining the First Global Challenge, most of the team members together, and despite studying in various locations across their nation with distances of even up to 200 kilometers, they said that their love for robotics is what unites us. An inspiring message from them as they compete in their first match today.
Taking a look at the teams that we have on the field right now, we have Estonia, Team Cabo Verde, Sierra Leone, Team Burkina Faso, Team Nepal, and Team Saudi Arabia.
Already 1 minute into this match. Right now, you don't see the scores necessarily populating, but that's because we need in order to store and tabulate energy and water, but then the food produced. So all three different colorations of those game elements come into play. We'll talk about those point valuations more over time. Current view right now shows you that food. It's currently still sitting and not necessarily being produced, but there are game pieces being put in the reservoir. We'll talk about later on.
Just a minute and counting down now. Teams are still getting used to the competition here. So we've had practice matches every day, but teams have been working very fastidiously to try and repair their robots. A lot of robots in transit, so things come undone, parts become a little bent, but what I appreciate most about all of our team's efforts here thus far is that they just take it in stride. They just keep going.
I like the couple of shots that we had previously, and now you see those bottom two screens in the corners. Those are the human players, right? The people that are responsible for the movement and love that these robots can actually spread and share in the world. So again, you're thinking about between human and robot here, but that human element is frankly what is so inspiring to watch from my perspective and opinion over the years. Look at the
Speaking of emotion, when we were in the pits yesterday, Cabo Verde has a full DJ setup in their pit. So if you want to go a dance party as Inspires here, maybe after this match, go check out Team Cabo Verde. They've got a full DJ setup.
It was loud and rowdy, almost that I would kind of liken it to yesterday's performance by that DJ that we had at Panathenaic Stadium. Bumping the place.
We're going to take a look at some match highlights while our referee worked very hard to tabulate our scores here. Energy was the first game piece in action during this match. You see the green floating around all around the field.
So those green pieces being energy, those blue pieces being water. You see again those human players trying to will their robots to work. As those robots get up to that part of the field right there that I'm circling at the right side, that's referred to as the reservoir. So even if food is not produced, each one of those pieces, if put in that reservoir space, is a point for their respective alliance.
Something I'd like to actually highlight as well that we were seeing in the field is that there's different lights all over the place. We'll get back to that in a second. I want to look at our scores first, actually. 13-3 for that match number 6. What did it come down to? It came down to those nexus points. So nexus meaning joining things together. You need water and energy in order to produce our food. So for every food produced, you get 2 points. I'm really excited to see how these points continue to add up.
And even though we are talking about points grown in the form of growing the field, we've got our next field interview ready to go right now. So let's take it away. Melissa Blair, who do we have?
Nira Mato.
How do you feel about this match? You just won. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. and I'm really proud of what we have achieved, and I'm really proud of our team as well.
Great. So what was your strategy in this particular match?
Going right for it, going straight at it, and giving all we have got. Thank you.
That's great. So now tell me a bit about your robot.
So our robot was designed by mentors and us. We practice it daily, and we have made improvements so many times that the bot is practically unseen from its first counterparts. We had made many designs at the first, but we settled on this because it was quick and easy and was quick to adjust.
And based on your experience from this match, are you planning to change anything for like future matches?
Yes, the speed will be a bit decreased, and we will have to put some weights because the bot is moving around too much, and there is not much going on.
Okay, that's amazing. Now, with regards to your cooperation with your team, what do you have to say on that?
Oh, I love my alliance and my team because they had talked with us before. For the match, and we had a great time, and thank you.
So the cooperation overall was good, and did you like chosen as captain or like someone as a human player beforehand?
Yes, players and captains already chosen out, and we talked and communicated the alliance before, so we had pretty much a good conversation. And this was really good.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. Back to the booth.
Thank you, Melissa. Much appreciated. I love that message from that inspiring young man talking about going all in. I could not agree more, and you see so many teams doing the same. That also includes our next team up, which is Team Bolivia. They come from part of South America where towering mountains meet vibrant traditions. And with a passion for problem solving and a determination to represent their country with pride, they're ready to inspire with their innovative spirit. Let's take a look.
Bolivia, un país de paisajes impresionantes, culturas vibrantes y sobre todo, jóvenes visionarios.
Somos un equipo de apasionados por la robótica y estamos preparados para llevar la bandera boliviana al First Global Challenge en Atenas, Grecia.
Soy Jali y desde que tengo memoria he soñado con hacer algo que cambie este mundo.
Soy Rodrigo y me encanta crear cosas.
Soy Lidia y la tecnología es mi vida.
Soy Camilo y todo eso, dedicación y tiempo valdrán la pena.
Soy Mariluz. El movimiento, la fuerza, la precisión, todo esto cuenta cuando estamos compitiendo al más alto nivel.
We are more than a team. We are a family.
We are working together by technology, and we want to show
that Bolivia has the talent, creativity, and determination to succeed.
We are very happy to know that we are going to represent Bolivia.
This is not only our project, this is Bolivia's project.
I feel a huge responsibility, but also a great opportunity to prove that with effort and patience, there are no limits.
Cada día en el laboratorio es un día cerca de nuestro objetivo.
Y sabemos que podemos lograrlo. Llevar la bandera de Bolivia no es un desafío, es un honor. Mostrar al mundo lo que somos capaces de hacer.
We are the ICT generation of the bicentennial of Bolivia.
First Global Challenge. We are going for the victory.
For La Victoria from Team Bolivia there. I'm really excited to see them as we gear up for match number 9 behind us on field number 3. They're joined by teams from all over the world in this one. This is going to be a blast. In 3, 2, 1, go!
And you mentioned those teams. We got them in store for you in the form of India and Trinidad and Tobago. They are squaring up alongside Hong Kong, Aruba, and Bolivia.
When we were watching practice matches earlier today, we were seeing a few of our robots here on the field manipulating multiple game pieces. So they're able to produce food in one go as they have both and energy in. Taking a look at India specifically there, they had 4 game pieces. Ireland doing the same on the side there. I had a chance to talk with Team India yesterday, and they found that aesthetics were really important to the innovation of designing their robots. You can see that from their anodized parts. The only fully orange robot that you see.
Now, if you're looking at the Nexus goals field, and there are 24 total, you've got 12 that are sitting in the middle of the field, and hopefully we'll have an instant replay for you at the end of the match. One thing that you're going to start to see are teams that are able to put 4 elements in at a time, actually loading them not on the white platform itself, but on the side. There's a reason for that, and I'm thinking strategically it's because it's 3 across and only 2 on the side. And so I'm wondering if teams are trying to be as efficient as possible if they're able to load 2 simultaneously, and that's how they're doing it.
Absolutely, and you'll notice too that when you approach the middle platform from the side, both Nexus goals are the same height. But on the platform, you're a little bit elevated, so you don't need to up as high in order to score the game pieces. Similarly, on that back wall, you have your, what looks like an escalated, graduated set of goals there. You have to achieve new heights for every time you hit a Nexus goal.
Man, I love the previous shot that we just saw. You had on that platform in the foreground both that water and energy element trying to be scored for points in that Nexus goal, and then in the background you had the orange element of food being stored in that warehouse that you see right now at the very back of your screen.
As we get to the last 30 seconds of the match, I'd like to call out, you can see in the back of the field, there are multiple different lights going on. We've seen orange. Orange means food has been produced. It's an indicator to our teams, in addition to the food coming out, but also know that there's food available for them to be storing. If you see a green or a blue, a tip at the end of the match there, that looks like Team Bolivia. We hope to see them right themselves. Just a couple seconds left. We'll let our referees weigh in on what our balance will add up to. You get 0.2 for every robot that's balanced, so we'll let them figure it out, but I'd like to highlight that last India with 4 balls, 4 game pieces in their hopper, it looks like. That also, that's Team Hong Kong, China in the back as well.
Now what we earlier on, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm trying to keep up with these robots. They're moving at such a galactic fast pace. If you're looking at this one right now, again, different loading mechanisms for how they store those 4, but once they're on the platform, you see them trying to raise, elevate, and then score in those 2 different Nexus goals. Once that happens, again, you've got that food being released at the bottom. You need to have both of those elements in there, however, in order to release, get those points.
Scores are up for that last match. It was a tight one, 60-52. Looks like we had a 1.6 bonus multiplier. That means 3 robots at the end were considered balanced. We're going to actually now take it to the pits. Kind of take a look at some of the action behind the scenes that we're not seeing behind us. Blair, who are we talking to?
I am here in the pits where it is just as exciting as the playing fields. This first global is amazing. And one of the amazing teams is Team Tunisia. Team Tunisia, say hello. So last night we had the opening ceremony. It was magnificent. and you played a part of that, and which surprised you a little bit. You want to tell us about it a little bit?
Of course. So, hello everyone. I'm Ahmed Amin Jalouli, member from Team Tunisia, and the best part of yesterday was the song produced actually. So Team Tunisia, Taleme in Greece, which means see you in Greece in Greek language. So we produced this song since the beginning of our journey for this edition. It was produced by youngsters from our team since the beginning, and we started with the lyrics and then some rhythm and some like beats, and it was collected some Greek style, Tunisian style, all of the styles, and it was finished by our team also. And yes, everyone heard it, and I guess everyone loves it. Right?
Yes, it was fantastic. They captured every first global competition in that video. You can check it out online. Who came up with the idea for that?
Our mentors. Our mentors, yes.
Oh, beautiful. Who did all the video production?
Video production was made by me. I'm the media person here in the traveling members, but we are four media persons in the team. We are a team of 28 members. We have a media department that is working on the media of our pages, and I made the video to share all the memories and all the stuff that First Global gave us.
Well, you're going to have a lot more memories after this week, right? First Global is not just about the robots, it's about creativity and innovation, and you really showcased that last night. So congratulations, it was a beautiful video. Good luck in the competition, and now we'll send it back to the booth with Tim and Manisha.
Thanks, Flair. We're really excited to see them join us on the fields behind us very.
Yeah, you're talking about them showcasing what they're all about, and you go to 192 other nations that are back there in those pits. I know a few of them unfortunately couldn't join us in competition, and we'll talk about them soon. 6 that are here to compete right now on field 3 in 3, 2, 1.
Joining us on the field 3, we have Team Azerbaijan, Malaysia, Cuba, and Barbados and Jordan.
Now, as we were supposed to have a team video logged up for them. I know we'll give it to you later on over the next 3 days, but I want to focus on them for a second right now because they are one of the world's top 5 producers of hazelnuts. Now, I know that sounds like a rather random and nothing fact, but I know that people are going nuts at home. We got a lot of supporters from abroad checking in.
Are in full force today, Tim.
Here we go. I'm going to crack everybody up. But-a-bum.
Oh, wow. Speaking of cracking up, we got to talk about Team Puerto Rico last night at our opening ceremony. They were the only team that I noticed that had a full mascot in attendance. A chicken, a rooster, perhaps? We'll have them clarify that for us as we continue on. A minute and 36 seconds counting down on our field 3, our center field. Already being delivered into the warehouse. That's an extra 2 points for what looks like the Blue Alliance there.
You were talking about the rooster potentially being that mascot. If that is in fact the case, I would say it is definitely par for the course. Action here at Peace and Friendship Arena, and yet they are up with the sun and ready to rock. That team is coming really strongly out of the gate today.
Cuba. I was just on the view there, and now we're taking a look at some human players from Malaysia loading their robot up with 2 sets of energy and water.
And again, you're seeing that happen from the side of the platform. So as some of these teams put in 4 elements at a time. I suspect part of the reason why they're doing that is because they're already paired up if you do it from that horizontal side, as opposed to the larger and broader side of that platform where there are 3 across.
With just over 38 seconds left, we're getting into the end game here. You can see that there is a green light on that Nexus goal that Malaysia just put a game piece in as the whistle's blowing off. You can see LEDs in the background, blue meaning energy for green. That's indicating to our teams that we need one more game piece to produce that food. Cuba doing exactly that. They saw a blue light and they deposited a green in that Nexus goal with 10 seconds left. We can see Malaysia ascending the platform, trying to get those points for that bonus multiplier.
So it looks like we've got 2 of those robots in totality up on that platform. But again, we let the judge take some time to do. Hands are off of those controllers, but that doesn't mean the action on the field stops. There are teams and scores of judges that are hard at work and trying to make sure that these kids are putting their best foot forward.
Something I wanted to highlight just there is that Team Cuba, they went out of their loading area and then back in once they expanded. At the start of the match, our teams need to be within a certain limit. That is a specific inch rule that it's your starting configuration. Once you've started the match, you can exit and then expand. So that's how you're seeing our teams start in the small form factor, grow to achieve different food delivery, energy delivery at the different heights on our field.
And we took you back to the pits earlier on. There are going to be some tweaks to these robots as well and how they are designed ultimately over the next 3 days. We're all tinkerers, and that definitely holds true for even the last parts of their stage here as they've taken months over the past year to prepare for this competition. So again, it's never really done, is it?
Preparations paid off for the Red Alliance there with 40 points on the board, 12 Nexus points on the board for Puerto Rico, Azerbaijan, and Malaysia. Over on the blue side, Cuba, Barbados, and Jordan, they also were securing food during that match. Great work by all of our teams now. We're going to take a look at our next team. This team is nestled between the mountains and the Mediterranean Sea. Lebanon's teams brings both ingenuity and determination to the first global challenge. With a deep cultural history and passion for innovation, they're here to make a strong impression on the global stage. Let's take a look.
أهلا وسهلا فيكم بلبنان أرض الحضارة والثقافة الغنية.
نحن فريق لبنان، هيدي قصتنا.
لبنان بلد الجبال الشامخة والحضارة والصمود.
البلد اللي بيحتضن فيه الجبال بإيدين مفتوحة.
من آلاف السنين كانت هيدي الأرض شاهد على الحضارات المتتالية، كل واحدة منهم تركت بصمتها على هالبلد
وغابة الأرز هيدي رمز للخلود والقوة والشاهد على تاريخنا العريق.
كل شجر هون تحمل بجذورها قصص أجيال بتحكي عن تراثنا، تاريخنا وثقافتنا.
كل غصن منلاقي إلهام جديد لمستقبل مشرق.
وغابة الأرز هي مجرد شجرة، هي رمز وطننا العزيز.
ومن خلال فريق نسعى دايما لنمثل لبنان بأجمل وأروع صورة ونشارك العالم بجماله وروحه.
ونحن هون لنثبت إنه المستقبل نقدر نبنيه جذور متينة مقصلة من الماضي.
وسوا بنطلع
لنحقق دايما
الإنجازات
والتحديات
بروح وحدة.
We are Lebanon!
Team Lebanon is actually joining us on the field in just a moment here. I am constantly inspired by all of our teams that are joining us from all over the world. They all have different culture, different education, but they're all so passionate about these robots, and I can't wait to see them in action. In
We're gonna start
3,
this-
2, 1, go!
That closing line from Lebanon is so empowering to when they say, we are. And we are absolutely with you. We can say that. Team Lebanon, congratulations for making it to this stage and good luck in this first matchup. Beside them, we've got teams Egypt and then our host nation. Absolutely cover them over the next 3 days. And they are alongside Ethiopia, Syrian Arab Republic, and Grenada.
Red Alliance already have 2 sets of food production in the works in that center platform. We're noticing that that is the first goal that is targeted by the Red Alliance in the matches that we've seen thus far. We actually have 4 sets of food production in the making over on the Red Alliance side of the field. They've already filled that higher goal on the outer edge. Take a look at the team approaching the red goal. I believe it's Team Lebanon, the video that we were just watching. They have an incredible scissor lift system going on. And look at that little trap door. It also has a lever that pops up. So when the door pops open to deliver the energy in the water, there is an inner component to help push it out of the robot. Amazing stuff. It's all so stable and so efficiently packed.
And as you're looking at the game field, notice in the top right corner, all 6 of those food elements are going to be released because of those Nexus goals. So they are out. Established start here, even though we've only got 1 minute left of play. It looks like they've done an excellent job producing the food. The question is, can they take on that next element of play and then ultimately store it? It's up to those robots and the human players on the side of the field.
Lebanon making quick work again. They're doing the same thing they did on the outer edge of the field, but now on the platform. That's Team Grenada in view now with water in their robot.
Now
Lebanon coming just short with that energy. They'll need to circle back and bring an energy in order to release that center platform food.
Now, unsurprisingly, you get a little bit of a home field advantage here, particularly as you get to the waning seconds of endgame. It looks like a couple of schools definitely got released early. They must be on a field trip today, but they are here to support their home nation of Greece. Let's give it up for them. Let's go.
We've got Team Syrian Arab Republic now ascending the platform. They're joining Lebanon and what looks like our hometown crew, Team Greece. With just 5 seconds left in this match, Team Syrian Arab Republic, can they make it? And can they balance that ramp as time expires?
We will see. Again, the judges have a very difficult job on this field, but you know, regardless of the outcome, you can tell that the process was worth it. Those cheers say it all, folks, and that's not just the competitors on the certainly those in the stands here supporting them, and that at home remotely.
Let's take a look at that last match real quick. There's a look at Team Lebanon gearing up to receive a set of energy and food and water, excuse me. Meanwhile, Team Greece, they already had 4 game pieces in hand in robot, and they're lightning fast, as indicated by that side panel there. That's looking at Team now. Communication is key when you're on the field, not just with the other teams, but with each other. The human players need to work quickly. You can see there, that's Team Lebanon, the yellow armband. You have to load the robots, but then also deliver the food to the warehouse. There's a lot of human player interaction between our teams. Our scores are up on the board, 82. That's our high score of the day over on our field thus far. So shout out Team Egypt, Team Lebanon, and Team Greece. At the end of the match there, it looks like it was a 1.6 multiplier. Tim, pop quiz. How many robots at the end of that match?
That'd be 1, 2, 3, Manisha. Thank you.
Amazing. We're now going to take it to the field where Melissa, who's joining us today?
Kalimera, Team and Manisha, we're here with Evgenia, and she's from Greece, our host country for this year. You did amazing right now. Tell us more about your win.
We're very excited to be here tonight, and as you see, we've been great, and we can't wait for more wins like this.
82 is a fantastic starting point for your scoring. How are you going to take it?
We'll see in the next minutes and hours and stuff like that.
So what was your strategy for this match? I was seeing energy and food jetting out.
So we're in every Nexus goal, and then we're taking every football to the human players like me, and the most important, like balancing their arm, because we take the multiplier.
I was seeing that you were the human player. How was this job? It felt a lot going on, energetic, stressful.
Yes, it was stressful, but we were very enthusiastic about it. I had great teammates, so they helped me with every anxiety and stress.
Great, that's awesome. So back to Manisha.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Team Greece. We look forward to seeing you over the next couple of days. Thank you for your gracious hospitality as we join you here in Athens this year.
As if Panathinaikos Stadium wasn't all-encompassing enough of an image to take in yesterday, I'll tell you, that match from them and that alliance was quite compelling in and of itself. So we're excited to see what they do in the competition. But we've got a lot more matches to bring you. There are 5 fields of play that are happening behind us simultaneously. We are streaming for you, at least, on this main cast. 3 in particular. So 6 new nations every single match, and we'll have the next one up for you in a few seconds, I think.
First Global /live. That's how you're going to be able to find all of these other streams. But for now, we're going to kick it back to Field 3 in 3, 2, 1, go!
We have teams Cameroon, Senegal, and Singapore, our host nation last year, now on the road, versus Bulgaria, Bosnia and Herzegovina, as well as Albania. So representing the Balkans quite well here today as well.
We've got 3 robots with 2 game pieces each. We've noticed thus far are manipulating as many game pieces as possible. They're trying to make the most out of the different laps they have to take from the human player station over to the Nexus goals on any part of the field.
In that shot, you saw the human players going to what looks like the NBA three-point shooting contest style rack. They're grabbing those blue and green elements that encompass water and energy and produce that food. So right now on the platform, you're going to see one of those pieces get released onto the field. That is worth 2 points for that regional alliance. The question then is, can they get more points by getting to those human players on the side or back into the robots to then get stored on that VRAM that you see ascending the height backdrop of that field?
We're looking at Team Cameroon and Team Bosnia and Herzegovina just then. They're targeting along the back under the food warehouse to produce as much food as possible. Red Alliance already having a few food produced, translating to the food warehouse above our field. That's Bosnia and Herzegovina just then. We're also taking a look at Team Bulgaria down center field.
With respect to Cameroon, that nation in the top left corner on the regional, agriculture makes up 17% of their country's GDP and 70% of that country's labor force. So when we're talking about feeding the future, this is a problem that is quite relevant and pertinent to them in particular. Their team that's joining us in this arena today is composed of 8 students, a majority of whom are girls. So we will talk about women in STEM much throughout the week, but we are so grateful that they are in attendance and showcasing their skills with us today.
That whistle indicates we're in the end game here. Our teams are going to be looking to increase their balance multiplier as much as possible. That means either being fully supported by the platform or fully balanced and supported on the ramp. We'll see what our teams decide to do. We've got a couple robots on the platform already, but it's still like 10 seconds left in the match. Anything can happen as we wrap up this match number 18.
Right now, we've got a couple of robots to get on that ramp. It looks like it's a moot point because the buzzer sounds and they are not above that carpet. So again, points likely not to be registered there, but we'll wait on the judge's call.
While they tabulate scores, we're going to take a look at some highlights.
Now, what you're looking at right now is kind of a different intake system, a basket per se, or a catchment system that, again, once you raise those elements and drop them into that Nexus goal, that is the supposition that both water and energy to then produce food. So each one of those elements is going to be worth 1 point a pop. It will then produce food after a time delay, because again, it does take time to grow. And so at different points end up making these final scores.
Speaking of points, we've got our scores for match number 18 on field 3. 52-6. Teams are still warming up. I've got full faith that we're going to see those numbers elevate, escalate. I'd like to point out that in that last match, we had similar designs, different approaches. A couple of our teams had seesaw level delivery going on. You'd intake on one end, raise up, and then drop it into the goal. Speaking of dropping in, we're now gonna head over to the pit, and we're gonna join Blair. Blair, who are we talking to?
And we're here in the pits with Team who they've had one match. Tell us about it. How'd you do?
I think we've done pretty well. I think right now we're still like first, but like obviously all teams haven't gone yet. So
yeah, so one match, undefeated. They could leave right now and leave undefeated, but I think they're for the whole tournament. Now, this is not first global, right? So tell me, what do you think about this one in Athens?
Really well, and much better than last year. Yeah. The atmosphere is great. We've had the chance to meet a lot more teams. Our robots better prepped, so we're having a good time, yeah.
Yes, last year you said it was a little bumpy for you, right? But this year it's, well, you're undefeated so far. That's great. But the pits, the atmosphere in the pits is kind of electric. And today there's all these school groups going around. Have you interacted with like other teams?
yeah, 100%. I think the activities like the scavenger hunt, things like that, it gives you a reason to go around and chat to people. And yeah, definitely yesterday and all, it was really fun to go around pits, chat to people.
Does your robot have a name?
It's called Tornyuk. You can see on the front. It means thunder osgailge in Irish.
All right. Well, keep the thunder rolling. Good luck at the competition. We're going to send it back to the booth with Manisha and Tim.
Thank you, Blair. Thank you, Team Ireland. When I spoke to them yesterday, they taught me a little bit of Gaelic, and I'd like to try to not butcher it. Eglus Lusrock, which means fast as lightning. So we hope to see them continue on our field. In the meantime, we'd like to introduce another team that's joining us here this year. Team Philippines. They combine the technical know-how with a collaborative mindset, inspired by their nation's dynamic tech scene. They're ready to bring to the forefront of this global gathering of innovators. Let's take a look.
I am excited to be a part of the 2024 First Global Challenge because it is an opportunity for us to showcase the potential of Filipino youth to collaborate with other countries.
I decided to join First Global since I aim to contribute to a better future by making positive changes with the use of technology.
STEM is important for me as it opens doors to opportunities in learning, not just in robotics but also in various fields such as environmental preservation and food production.
This year's theme, Feeding the Future, is important for us since millions of Filipinos still rely on agriculture for their livelihood.
Our team will use this experience to make our country and the world better by analyzing setbacks and developing better strategies.
Our team can also use this experience to seek opportunities to collaborate with diverse stakeholders, including government agencies and academic institutions.
As we embark on this journey, we carry with us the spirit of bayanihan,
the Filipino value of community cooperation.
Proudly from the Philippines, we are the DYCI Primes.
Those Filipino values very much embodied not just in the work of that team, but also in the 192 others that joined them, us, and this global community here in this arena. Well, they're going to be one of 6 teams upcoming next on field number 3, and we are ready to get that action to you in 3, 2, 1, go!
Joining Team Philippines on the Red Alliance, we have St. Kitts and Nevis and Niger. On the Blue Alliance, we have St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Antigua and Barbuda, and the United Republic of Tanzania.
Now, St. and the Grenadines is 2 islands and the Cays, making it the largest archipelago state in the Windward Islands of the Caribbean. Now, they are making winds and storms here on the field of play in their first match, and I know supporters say the same. I'm sure that they're delighted to see them in action here.
We've got the United Republic of Tanzania lining up at the reservoir with their energy and their robot. Meanwhile, Team Philippines delivering 1 energy, 1 water, the Red Alliance side of the Nexus goals. I look forward to seeing what our other teams are working on the other sides of the field. With 1:40 counting down anyone's game.
And in terms of each of these games, 2.5 minutes in total, so we are 1 minute into this action right now. The human players on the side, again, can populate those robots with either element of or water. Each of them is going to be worth 1 point so long as they can ultimately be stored in any of those 12 Nexus goals. There are 12 of them per squad, so 24 in total on the field.
Ice in the veins over on that Blue Alliance side of the field. Our teams are so focused. All of their hard work over the last few months have culminated here and now, and they're just trying to see their vision of their robots in action, get as much competition time as they can.
And right now that food there was being produced, I think, ultimately you see the human players escort it over for the Red Regional Alliance with that fork and then offloading it into that food warehouse in the back. So even in the there are so many different manipulatives to this game that make it both unique and interesting, not just with respect to comparing it to other sports, but even within the framework of each first global challenge that we've had over the past 7 years.
Team Philippines looking to ascend the ramp as we are now in the end game with the last 30 seconds of this match. Food being secured in the warehouse by Team Tanzania. Meanwhile, Team Philippines in the middle, already on the platform, slowly rising up, lining up the shot just right.
Now, what you got to love about that strategy by that particular team in Robot is that even if these points don't get deposited, they're still on that white platform. For that bonus multiplier at the very end. So they kind of pre-position themselves, regardless of whether they beat that buzzer or not, to get some points for their alliance. Smart strategy.
Hands up. Let's look at some highlights. That's Team Philippines. They're loading up a energy and a water getting started. Looks like their hopper, it needs to be positioned just right to have both sort of like a big truck. It rises and gently delivers it into the goal. I think precision is key here when you're lining up.
Yeah, they were trying to lean into the force of gravity to allow it to roll down. So earlier on, you see they're only positioning one at a time, trying to let it actually work up a little bit in order to corral it accordingly. If it were straight up and down, it's a little bit harder and more precarious to balance. For having the patience and discipline to get that done. I think Team Philippines also had an enormous following last night in Panathinaikos Stadium. It was wonderful to listen to their students and supporters from abroad get jacked up for them.
We've got our scores up on the board now, 12-2. improvement from both of our teams over the course of that match. They were getting faster every time they were making laps from their human player area to the goal. Speaking of bringing us to goals, we'd like to recognize the generous support of our title sponsor, Lamb Research. Joining us now is Aaron Fellis, the Chief Vice President and General Manager of Lamb's WETS Disposition Business Unit. And I'd like to learn more about that. Also, he is a Lamb and Foundation Advisory Board member. Thank you for joining us, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing very nice. Very good to be here today. Really enjoying the competition, walking around, seeing all the students, having a wonderful time.
Now, I was going to say, and this is Lamb's, I think, third year as a sponsor. Second, though, as title sponsors. Elevating yourselves into that type of position and being on the frontier and foreground of this type of event, what does it mean to you and Lamb? How did you come to a conclusion for yourselves, and what inspired you to support us here?
Well, science, technology, engineering, math are vital within our industry, and it's an industry that's growing tremendously. So inspiring young students to come into the field today so that we can support the ongoing growth that this industry has. We see that, everybody's talking about artificial intelligence today. AI for short. So many people are now talking about technology. Interviewing many of the teams in some of the judging panels the last couple of days, students are talking about artificial intelligence as they go about developing their programs for the robots and food preservation programs. Really outstanding. We see that the AI market is going to grow tremendously through the year 2030. Experts are saying the market could be as big as $2 trillion in revenue over the coming years. So we see a tremendous amount of growth. With that, the number of people we need doing science, technology, engineering, math, robotics, and other fields that it leads to is very vital to Lamb Research.
It sounds like you really recognized what changes the game, and you're part of that forefront. In your opinion, how do you know what's needed for the next game changer in the industry?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's really challenging. And Lamb's focus is to work very closely with our customers. They are the ones that are actually designing the chips and seeing what they can do from chip architecture standpoint to push the limits of design to bring more and more technology closer to users like ourselves. And so by us working closely with our customers and their roadmaps, knowing their technology directions as well as they do, asking them to come to Lamb with what are their most challenging problems so that we can work closely with them to deliver the equipment, bring these leading edge chips. As I talked about AI, these chips require the most specialized chips the industry, the world will have ever known. It's part of our everyday lives today. So working so closely with our customers so that we can deliver equipment that will help them build the chips with these very advanced designs that bring this massive computing power together with the most for storage, whether it be high bandwidth memory that we couple together in advanced packaging with these GPU chips that are essential to AI. A big development for Lamb in the industry is working with our customers on the path to 1,000-layer NAND storage devices so that all of the computing power requires massive amounts of memory that we can couple closely together with the processing chip. Working together with our customers on what their design challenges are so that we can bring them the products they need in their R&D and manufacturing centers to put these chips into the market is what Lamb is focused on, and being very close to our customer and being a strong partner together with them.
Listen, yesterday at the opening ceremony, these kids listened to a video and a music video that was saying, "My robot is better than your robot." And in a similarly aligned way, I would ask you with respect to Lamb and your perspective on it, how are careers different Lamb than, say, other types of technology industries such as software or computing?
Yeah, you see a lot of that in the industry today when you talk about, names that most of our, humans are familiar with, people, common in the industry, whether it's social media apps and other, and they talk about next generation technology. It's some level of software and hardware, but these are all coupled together by chip technology, which is what Lamb is really specialized in. AI, social media, advanced augmented reality, other components are all tied together and enabled by chip technology. And bringing together all of the engineering within inside of Lamb, whether it be mechatronics, robotics, mechanical engineering, plasma, material science, chemists together. Engineering of all flavors is what's needed inside of our company to bring these chip innovations to market so that we can deliver all these specialized technologies that are becoming so much of a part of our human experience and our human lives day to day.
I think it's really important what you just honed in on there. The human experience, the human part of this. As technology continues to evolve, it's all about how can we still maintain our humanity as a part of that. It's a tool, it's a part of our lives, and I think that's kind of exemplified by what we're seeing here at the competition. So we thank you so much for how you're helping our students drive towards that human-centered design future.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic, and I've loved talking with all the students, and they exemplify what we talk about is seeing limits and ways to push past them and not standing at the status quo and continuing to enable it. So it's been really inspiring and exciting to participate in this program the last few days. Look forward to how everything fares out in the competition, and it's been really exciting to be back in the pit. It's watching them get ready and work on their strategies and learn about how they approached this competition. So it's been really fun, and Lam is really happy to be a supporting sponsor and enabling this activity. It's been great.
Much like Feeding the Future, you've been feeding this organization and allowing it to organically grow over time into the spectacle that it now is. So, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you both. Thanks, First Global and First Robotics. Yep.
Plenty more matches coming your way today. We've got scores from the previous one on the board right now between those red and blue regional alliances. So if I'm taking a quick look, it looks as if teams Oman, Uzbekistan, and the British Virgin Islands emerge victorious out of that matchup, but only by a delta of 4 points. Regardless, it's a cumulative score when we're talking about these qualifying matches over the first 3 days, and there are hundreds of them that we've got in store for you here.
Speaking of what's in store, I want to highlight the journey that is a part of this program. The journey to the First Global Challenge is one that surpasses generations. This year, over 190 countries have journeyed here for this international competition, celebrating science and technology with the same enthusiasm as the intellectual endeavor and the Olympic Games that shape both the history and the future of Greece. Let's take a look.
Since the dawn of civilization, the new generation has carried the promise of a better tomorrow. The cultivation of youth has served as the foundation of progress, like seeds planted in fertile soil. Young minds illuminated by the light of learning and play set off on a lifelong journey of discovery. Generation after generation leaves their mark as they pass on their legacy. Nearly 3,000 years ago, a civilization emerged in the land of Greece that carved a path for future generations. In the Agora, the seeds of democracy sprouted. Teachers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle taught us that to prosper, we must learn, and to learn, we must seek the truth. In pursuit of truth, the Greeks pioneered principles of science and mathematics, Archimedes on the laws of the physical world, Pythagoras on the harmony of numbers, Euclid on the basis of all human structures, and Democritus on the smallest particles of matter. They knew the inheritance of each generation and the richness of knowledge and benefit that they weave into the lives of others. In Olympia, they commemorated the fruits of human endeavor with the Olympic Games, a tradition that continues today to bring the world together through competition. These games highlighted more than physical strength, celebrating our common fraternity in the pursuit of excellence. Over the centuries, Greece continued to evolve while preserving its rich heritage. In 1896, at this very stage, the world witnessed the modern revival of the Olympic Games, a symbol of unity and the eternal spirit of human achievement. Then, 20 years ago, in 2004, the Olympic Games once more returned, reminding the world of the timeless value of sport in the advancement of humankind. In this same spirit, the first global challenge was born to empower the next generations through the sport of robotics, the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Inspire the pursuit of innovation and global collaboration for a better world. From planted in Washington, D.C. in 2017 to the vibrant of Mexico City in 2018 to the futuristic skyline of Dubai in 2019, even as the world shut down in 2020 and 2021, the spirit of discovery connected us through virtual spaces. We met again in the landscapes of Geneva in 2022, then in the gardens of Singapore in 2023. Each event a testimony to the resilience and today, here in the home of democracy, philosophy, and the Olympic spirit, we continue our journey, merging the worlds of athletic sport and STEM innovation. Welcome to the 2024 First Global Challenge, where young minds pass forth the beacon of inspiration, paving the way to a brighter future for all.
Our journey continues with you. After we welcomed them with open arms at Athens International Airport, they've then been stewing as teams at both hotels trying to get prepared for their match. The next one we bring you. 3, 2, 1, go!
Match number 27 on field 3. Joining us is the Dominican Republic, Argentina, and they're working with Malta, Seychelles, and Ukraine.
Now, when we talk about feeding the future, there is so much in the agricultural industry that is susceptible to climate change. And we've talked about that thematically over the years at the First Global Challenge. It's definitely relevant to the Dominican Republic. In particular, our competing nations here, because with the exception of the banana industry in the Eastern Caribbean and a public insurance company in the Dominican Republic, natural insurance against natural disasters is literally non-existent in the Caribbean. So you think about a lot of different nations, peoples being affected by not just policies that are in place, but certainly the changes that are being the changes that are being experienced rather, and progressively rightfully so, with climate change that's happening. So hopefully the solutions are being brewed and cultivated by these young leaders and learners as they descend on the field of play here and then when they return back home. Goodness, I'm going quickly today.
Speaking of moving quickly, all of our teams are in action right now. You're looking at Argentina, Dominican Republic, and Djibouti all working together on that Blue Alliance side of the field, but on their way to the Red Alliance side to secure, or rather produce their food. Blue Alliance working pretty quickly. That's Malta, Seychelles, and Ukraine. Ukraine right there on the screen, delivering some energy. It looks like it popped out of their system, but straight back into their robot. In the middle of the we've got a team ascending the ramp, score in the Nexus goal in the middle of the field.
Looks like Team Argentina right now being featured. Empty right now in terms of the elements. No water or energy right now, but that doesn't mean it can't score points if it can accrue any of the food produced, which are those orange particles / elements being strewn throughout the field. They can be either stored in that warehouse at the top of the screen. Only one particle right now, though, looks like it's stored.
30 seconds and counting down, which means their teams are going to be working to score as much food, as much energy and water to produce as much food. You see that our light going on. That is the designation of food production on our field here. With just 10 seconds left, we've got couple robots on the platform, another platform in motion. That's Argentina ascending the ramp with the help of Seychelles. That's global collaboration if I've ever seen it.
So it looks like that food might not be stored necessarily before the buzzer sounded. In that warehouse, we'll let the judges decide. But Team Malta, that's on the right side of that platform right now, again is incorporating a strategy that we've seen time and time again in these first competitive matches on the field of play. They're trying to get on that white platform, frankly, before even endgame begins. That way they can still get those bonus multiplier points, but then additionally potentially conserve water and energy in those Nexus goals as well.
Scores on the board. It's 26-5. Our Blue Alliance. 11 points in the Nexus, 6 points of food production. Great work by all of our teams to achieve a 1.4 bonus multiplier. Teams have to work together in the end to make sure that they can get as many of the 6 robots on the top as possible. That bonus multiplier comes into effect when you take your water scored, your energy scored, and your food produced, add that all up, and then multiply it by the balance multiplier. It's really a team effort in the end here at First Global Challenge 2024. We're now going to feature one of our teams. Coming to Athens from just across the Aegean Sea, Team Turkey brings a dynamic mix of cultural heritage and edge technology to competition. Known for their ingenuity and teamwork, they're excited to represent the country with pride and passion as they take on the world stage.
Sustainable food refers to food production and consumption that both protects nature and supports human health. The sustainable food system aims to provide clean water, fertile soil, and healthy food for future generations by protecting resources.
This year, as Team Turkey, we are working to learn the obstacles and opportunities of providing fair, safe, nutritious, and environmentally friendly food to the global population and to instill this in our environment.
As 5 students from all over Turkey who met for this purpose in Istanbul, we're trying to improve ourselves in the field of robotics and also focus on how it may be beneficial to our environment and people.
Our biggest goal as a team is to spread STEM as much as we can, first in our country and in the world, because we believe that the solution to the problems the world faces is in education.
Participating in the Global Challenge increases our curiosity in robotics while also allowing us to get to know and interact with people from different cultures. Throughout this process, we continue to dedicate each day to having, learning and benefiting the world while adding a lot to ourselves and our environment every day.
Now, even though we focused on Team Turkey, the actual students in that video, their mentor is inspirational to that nation because they actually brought first to the nation of Turkey themselves. So in talk of spreading the word there, and now play, we're going to get their match going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Team Turkey is joined on the field by Team People's Republic of China, Peru, Slovakia, Tajikistan, and Cook Islands. Cook Islands is an all-girl team this year, and they really showed off the beautiful ethnic wear of their nation, including flower crowns, and they fresh flowers. It looks beautiful.
I was going to say the robot as well is looking fresh. Each one of them is looking idyllic and endemic to their culture and nation, not just their team's complexion. When they're interacting with one another and building chemistry. For the nation of Turkey, they've definitely had chemistry over the years. As you mentioned, all of them boarding school students who have been immersed in first since prep class, making them and their journey deeply personal. One teammates actually won a national award for their project on food sustainability. So it demonstrates the global challenges, but really the theme of feeding the future here in this year's game.
Team Cook Islands delivering some water to Team Tajikistan. That's the beauty of this game, is it's deck to work towards feeding the future.
Again, a lot of chemistry from that Blue Alliance, not just in the foreground platform, but then on their regional alliances station in the top left corner. And it's also because team chemistry exists between the People's Republic of China, who's also on that Blue Regional Alliance. 17 members from various high schools throughout that nation, the FTC and FRC experience. So that regional alliance is definitely bringing their years and considerable time spent with one another and with robots generally into the field of play here today.
6 robots in motion. It looks like our Blue Alliance is loading up 4 game pieces over there. I'd like to highlight that robot actually. They've got a little bit of a zigzag when they put the game pieces in their hopper to deliver them to the different goals. You can see that on the Blue Alliance side of the platform. There's actually multiple robots trying to score some last 30 seconds, I should say, game pieces here. We're in the end game now. Team Slovakia has already ascended the platform after delivering some energy and some water to their Nexus goals. Our ramp is currently balanced, indicated by that purple light across the side of the ramp. With 5 seconds left, can Peru balance
let's get that last wheel up! Now here's where it comes into play, everybody, when we talk about a cooperation bonus, which might be in effect here. We'll see again, you need to have at least 5 robots that are balanced on that